Now, in response to what we read in Second Thessalonians chapter 2, stand fast and hold the traditions which ye have been taught, whether by word or by our epistle. Ellen White writes, the work of the believers had been given them by God. By their faith adherence to the truth, they were to give to others the light which they had received. The apostle bade them not to become weary in well-being, and appointed them to his very own example of diligence in temporal matters, while laboring with untiring zeal in the cause of Christ. He reproved those who had given themselves up to sloth and aimless excitement, and directed that when with quietness they work and eat their own bread. He also enjoined upon the church to separate from their fellowship anyone who should persist in disregarding the instruction given by God's ministers. Yet he added, count him not as an enemy, but admonish him as a brother. See, a lot of people think that, if you're doing God's work, that's it. You're not to do anything else. Paul was a tent maker. Now, while he was untiringly zealous for God's work and constantly working for God, whether it was saving people, healing people, casting out demons, or whether it was building churches, he still did his job. And what did he do with his job? Like he says over here, which is to work and to eat their own bread, meaning to make some of your own money for yourselves. Okay, now money is not the problem, but the love of money is the problem. So what I'm trying to say here, brothers and sisters, is yes, we have temporal responsibilities. God knows that. Yes, we got temporal jobs. God knows that we ought to do our jobs. We ought to do our jobs properly, as though we're doing it for God. But at the same time, there is a job. And that job is when we receive the light, to spread the light. And how do we do that? With the help of the Holy Spirit. See, having faith is not only having faith in godly things, but it's also having faith in some of the temporal things. God knows we have temporal responsibilities, but when we spend our time working for Him, God takes care of our temporal responsibilities. God made everything on this earth by speaking it. Therefore, He can take care of us, again, just by speaking it. But we ought to speak for Him. Christ says, if you confess of me publicly in front of man, I will confess of you publicly in front of the heavenly host and in front of the Father. So yes, we have a temporal job. But, brothers and sisters, we ought to do the work of God as well with zeal. Having both a temporal job as well as a God for job, when we work together, God blesses us doubly.